She opened her eyes, the sterile beeps of machines echoing in her ears, as she struggled to adjust to the harsh fluorescent lights of the ICU room. It had been weeks, maybe months. Time had lost meaning during that dark coma. But now she was awake, and the first thing on her mind was the children she thought she had lost forever. When she finally spoke, her voice weak but resolute, she uttered the words that shattered all expectations. She knew who had killed her children. The revelation would send shockwaves across the community, unraveling a twisted tale of betrayal, grief, and the desperate search for justice. Her name was Emily Carter, a devoted single mother of 2 bright and beautiful children, 7-year-old Lily, with her golden curls and laughter that filled every room, and 4-year-old Ben, whose mischievous grin was a constant source of joy. They lived in the quiet suburb of Maplewood, a small town where everyone knew each other, and tragedy was as rare as a snowless winter. But on a night that began like any other, the unimaginable happened. A silent scream. At least, that's how it was described by the neighbor who called 911. Emily had collapsed in her bedroom, plagued by a sudden and excruciating pain, her vision blacking out before everything went dark. When paramedics arrived, they found her barely conscious, feverish, and unresponsive. She was rushed to the hospital, where doctors diagnosed a severe bacterial infection that had spread into her bloodstream and left her in a coma. Emily's recovery was slow and fragile, but filled with determination. Her body, weakened by weeks of sedation and sepsis, trembled with every small movement. Her muscles had atrophied, and she had to relearn simple actions: lifting a cup, sitting up, speaking clearly. Physical therapists visited twice daily. They coaxed her legs into motion. Every stretch was a battle. Every step a victory. But the real struggle wasn't only physical. It was in her mind. Her memories returned in fragments, disjointed images, sounds, and smells. The scent of lavender from Lily's pillow. The crayon drawing on the fridge. The silence in the hallway that night. Doctors warned her that memory after coma could be deceptive. She might remember things that didn't happen. Or forget things that did. But Emily was resolute. Her memories were vivid, emotionally charged, and heartbreakingly clear. The first memory that returned was a scream. Not hers, but Ben's. Short. Cut off. Then silence. The next was a shadow. A figure at the door. Familiar. Not a stranger. She tried to scream, to move, but her body had failed her. She had collapsed before she could reach them. She wept uncontrollably when she recalled Lily's laughter just hours before the tragedy. How they baked cookies that afternoon. How Ben insisted on sleeping with the lights on because of a bad dream. The sheer innocence of that day haunted her. Her sister Sarah documented every memory Emily recalled. She created a notebook called The Truth Journal. Each entry helped detectives reconstruct a timeline. The district attorney later called that journal the spine of the case. As memories came back, so did guilt. Emily blamed herself. For not noticing warning signs. For trusting too easily. For surviving. Sarah reminded her daily, "You didn't survive for nothing. You survived for the truth. You survived for Lily and Ben." Hospital staff marveled at her progress. Doctors said most coma survivors took months to regain such clarity. But Emily wasn't just healing, she was fighting. For justice. For closure. News of her awakening spread through Maplewood like wildfire. Locals were stunned. Most had assumed Emily would never wake. Or worse, that she wouldn't remember anything. But now, she was both victim and key witness. Her testimony changed everything. The community's reaction was mixed. Some supported her. They held candlelight vigils for Lily and Ben. Sent cards, meals, prayers. painted murals outside schools. The children's names written in stars and hearts. Others, especially those close to the accused, reacted with disbelief. They questioned Emily's memory, accused her of confusion, claimed trauma clouded her mind. One neighbor said, "This feels like a nightmare, not real life." Local media made it national headlines. Reporters camped outside the hospital. TV specials aired, "The Coma Witness," "Mother Who Named a Killer." Podcasters and social media dissected every detail. Some supported Emily. Others doubted. But Emily didn't care about media. She cared only about truth. And her children. When Emily woke and named Rachel Monroe, her best friend and trusted housekeeper, police immediately reopened the case. Rachel had been the only person trusted to watch the kids when Emily was away or sick. They had known each other since college. Emily called Rachel her sister, not by blood. The community was stunned to hear her name. Before, Rachel was considered a witness. She said on the night of the tragedy she was not at Emily's home. She claimed to have left at 7 p.m. after putting the children to bed. She did not return that night. Police found no signs of forced entry. No broken locks. No stranger on camera. Rachel, a trusted person, was not initially suspected. Emily's testimony changed everything. She remembered hearing Rachel's voice inside the house around midnight. A hurried voice. She remembered Rachel saying, "I'm sorry," right before everything went dark. Rachel's phone was off from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. She claimed the battery died. But technical analysis showed it was manually turned off. Neighborhood cameras caught a person in a gray jacket leaving Emily's house at 12:42 a.m. Emily confirmed Rachel owned such a jacket. Hair samples from Rachel matched hairs found on Lily's pillow. Forensic reports showed the children were smothered with a pillow. No external injuries. A cold, intimate act. Only someone close could approach the children like that without resistance. Rachel's financial records revealed over $60,000 in debts. Credit cards, online gambling, eviction notices. She had asked Emily for money. Emily refused. A recovered text message from Rachel read, "She has everything. I have nothing." Police concluded Rachel poisoned Emily via contaminated food. When Emily collapsed from blood infection, Rachel assumed she wouldn't wake. Then Rachel smothered Lily and Ben quietly. No one suspected. No one heard. A fingerprint inside the pillow matched Rachel. The final piece of evidence. Rachel was arrested at a small bookstore where she worked. She offered no resistance. She remained silent. At the station, Rachel refused to talk. Her lawyer claimed she was mentally unstable. But the evidence was overwhelming. Rachel was charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy. Emily learned of Rachel's arrest. She whispered, "I trusted her like family. She killed my real family." On trial day, the sky was gray. Emily arrived in a wheelchair. Her hair short, still regrowing. Her eyes no longer fearful. Rachel sat in the defendant's chair. Hair tied back, face cold. No tears. No apologies. The prosecutor retold the story. A jealous friend. A hidden plan. A ruthless act. Each piece of evidence was presented. Texts. Cameras. DNA. Fingerprints. Emily's journal. Rachel's lawyer tried to argue Emily might be mistaken. But the jury was not convinced. Emily testified. Her voice weak but clear. Each sentence a painful cut. "She promised to protect my children. But she took them away from me. The courtroom was silent. Many cried. The jury looked at Rachel. No one saw her as a victim. The verdict: guilty. Sentenced to life without parole. Emily closed her eyes and whispered, "Not justice, but an end." On trial day, the sky was gray. Emily arrived in a wheelchair. Her hair short, still regrowing. Her eyes no longer fearful. Rachel sat in the defendant's chair. Hair tied back, face cold. No tears. No apologies. The prosecutor retold the story. A jealous friend. A hidden plan. A ruthless act. Each piece of evidence was presented. Texts. Cameras. DNA. Fingerprints. Emily's journal. Rachel's lawyer tried to argue Emily might be mistaken. But the jury was not convinced. Emily testified. Her voice weak but clear. Each sentence a painful cut. She promised to protect my children. But she took them away from me. The courtroom was silent. Many cried. The jury looked at Rachel. No one saw her as a victim. The verdict: guilty. Sentenced to life without parole. Emily closed her eyes and whispered, "Not justice, but an end."